games, we end up at every away game with Dr.
Evans' three-point shot.
It's powering shot, baby.
The following is a production of the Rough Rider broadcast team, a presentation of Watlington and Shires Productions.
Live from the pizzeria, but not today. It's the Rick Meeks Show, and it is the Rick Meeks Show, but with a special guest. We're from the Leon Dykes tennis facility. That's Leon Dykes. It's his facility. It's his show. I'm just lucky to be here. We're talking tennis, and we're talking Rough Rider football, looking back at the homecoming game, the bye week to come, and what's facing the team, but also we just have a district championship tennis team that's also looking at playoffs. So lots to talk about in a relatively short time. We're going to hear from our two title sponsors. We'll be back with these two gentlemen. Thanks for joining us live from the Leon Dykes tennis facility.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, so many things get started at pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
All right, welcome back. We have the pizza, the Rick Meeks pepperoni, and then the who is the Larry? That's one of Larry's favorite over there. But we've enjoyed the pizzeria pizza. The works minus the hamburger. That's Larry. Add bacon and green olives. All right, that's pretty good. Well, Coach, let's start with you. Congratulations on your second district win.
Thank you.
It's a lot of points.
It was.
That's kind of becoming a thing. But hey, you'll take it. You invited to homecoming a team that beat us last year.
Right.
So that was.
I'm not sure I personally invited them.
No,
I kind of was just given a couple dates.
Right.
That's the one we went with. So.
Well, I'm glad it turned out.
I am too.
That's good. And is it a good time to have your bye week?
Yes, for many reasons. One, we're at a point where we've got to get some guys healthy, and so the bye week is coming at a good time, and then two, it happens to match up with our county fair, and we have a lot of kids that are involved in a bunch of different things, as they should be, and that affects practice. So it makes it a little bit easier to swallow when you don't have a game on Friday, and
you think homecoming is a distraction. The
correct.
Poultry Festival.
Poultry Festival is a distraction. So, but I love it for our kids. They work hard on building projects and showing things and getting out there in front of the community and selling them, and I want them to be able to do that. So it makes it easier. The last 2 years it's fallen this way, and so it's not something that's always going to happen, but it's nice when it does. That's
good. And then to your left, Leon Dykes, we had grand plans to broadcast this. It kind of happened, but in the middle of the match, the rains came, and I thought, well, this is going to make it difficult. It ended up making for an interesting ending, one I've never seen before. Talk us through what happened today against Hudson. The winner would be the district champion and the #1 seed. Tell us how it happened.
Well, a couple things. The rain was never on my radar
at
all today, or we would have discussed it way in advance to do something earlier, or it just came out of nowhere. So we were up 5-2 after doubles, which was huge, but we still needed 5 more singles wins, and we were trying to hustle to get to that magic number 10 before the rain hit, but unfortunately we only got to 9, and we were up significantly in 2 other matches, and that kind of was the determining factor for Hudson to be sportsmanlike and decide, hey, you know what, this was probably going to be inevitable, and shook hands with us. So
it's a school night.
It is a school night. Yes.
Go ahead and get on back.
Yes.
And hey, Coach, this is the way it was going down. We knew you told me probably we have the advantage with our veteran girls team versus theirs. They have a veteran guys team.
Yes.
So in doubles, we stole one of those guys' doubles matches.
We stole we actually almost stole 2.
I know.
And so
I was waiting on that all year.
Yes. I was very pleasantly surprised that because in both of those matches they had lost the first set pretty handily. And they kept their composure and battled hard and ended up pulling second sets, and here we are in super tiebreakers. We play a tiebreaker to 10. Well, both of those went beyond 10. So it was 10-10, 11-10, 11-11, 12, and so one of them we ended up winning 12-10, I believe, and the other one we ended up losing 13-11 or something.
We covered that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that was the one where you guys actually got to see and witness.
We picked the one that we thought was going to be the difference maker. And it wasn't. The other one we didn't even know was going on. So
you basically the same thing was happening right behind you, and we pulled that one.
That's
neat. So 5-2 versus 4-3 is a big difference going into singles.
Yep.
And then just the way the ball bounces in team tennis. I love team tennis, and the reason that we're broadcasting it is because I want y'all to love it. It's hard to see it. It starts when you're still at work. So it's a great sport. It's as exciting as anything. But there's some strategy involved with it. Mm-hmm. Because those guys stretched those matches so long, your girls have already started their –
We had 5 girls singles matches out there, so there's a little bit of strategy, and we talking about that in advance and just tell those girls, hey, look, we know we're the stronger girls' side. If y'all can get through, we're going to get you right back out there, and that puts us in a big advantage. Yeah.
So while everybody's watching the guys struggling, splitting those 2 games, quietly your 3 girls have already almost won theirs.
Right.
So it's 5-2, and then lickety split, it's 8-2, and the guys are still warming up.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
Well, I'm proud for our kids and the boys. They battled hard. So.
Yep.
So what's next?
Maybe they're coming around right at the right time.
They're right at the right time. What's next is by district will be next week, either on Monday or Tuesday.
Make it Tuesday.
Well, we won't find out 100%. Madisonville and Franklin are playing for the 3 and 4 spots in the other district.
Okay.
So we play whoever does not win that match, and unfortunately, they scheduled that match for Thursday, which is supposed to rain. So I'm hoping I find out something Thursday evening and have something figured out by Friday morning where we're going to play and which day and what location and all that good stuff.
Okay, yeah. Well, I have classes to teach on Monday. Tuesday I don't have. I mean the coaches show, but I don't know how we're going to do it, Coach. I hope we're there to broadcast it.
Well,
so good luck to you.
Thank you so much for having me, and appreciate y'all giving the effort for today. It's awesome to have the last district match be at home where you guys could come. So appreciate that.
And it's hard. It's hard for someone that doesn't have a kid in the sport to go to a game that starts in 2 hours away before work's over.
Right.
So it's a good thing to be able to bring to folks. We hope we can do it.
See, you know, a lot of people don't know I have a district championship as a coach in team tennis.
He does. And a by-district championship.
Yeah, you know, a couple years ago, I hate to take that from Coach Dykes, but, you know, I'll share it with him.
Okay.
You know, a couple years ago, my first year here, just I was able to help, you know. I knew nothing about tennis. I had to learn really quick.
But you drove the bus, and you said, guys, go out there.
Well, no, this is a testament to Coach Dykes. I pretty much was there monitoring. The kids knew exactly what to do, and
you called
how
Coach Dykes and held the
go.
phone up, right?
And well, I was able to carpool with him a couple times. After the first few matches, we'd ride together to the other one. So I had a lot of fun doing it.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It really was.
He learned real quick what team tennis was all about, and I think he has appreciation for it now.
Very much so. Yeah. Very much so.
I appreciate him very much.
So a lot of those matches that we went all the way to the regional finals and lost by the skin of our
10-9.
10-9.
Yep.
The last of the last of the last of the last. But a lot of the other matches.
Probably because of coaching.
Right.
You know, if Coach Dykes was around, that probably would have been flipped. You know, they fell to their level of coaching on my part. So I'll take that one.
That's what we said on the broadcast. We'll be right back. We'll talk more football with Coach Dykes. It's the Coach Dykes Show here from the Leon Dykes Tennis Facility, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
Sandy Cox State Farm is your Shelby County State Farm insurance agent. She and her staff support all of Shelby County's teams. A quick look at Google reviews tells you how her customers feel about her.
I love State Farm. When I moved to Texas, I'm so glad I found Sandy's office. I highly recommend these guys. They're great.
Find her on Tenaha Street, Sandy Cox State Farm. Covington Lumber and Building Supplies is in the capable hand of a third generation of Covingtons. For shingles for your roof, to carpet for your floors, to Farrell Calhoun paint for the walls, bathroom fixtures, and everything in between, Covington's has it, as well as all the lumber you can shake a stick at. Lumber for your home or for other fun projects. You find it all at Covington's.
You know, I'm hungry. What is there to eat around these parts?
Well, this is Texas, so you're probably gonna want some barbecue.
Barbecue, you say?
Yes, and the very best you can get's at Yardbirds. You just pull on up to the drive-through window. When you get there, you tell them what you want. They got good stuff.
Do you think that would be good with some scones and a spot of tea?
Nah, you better leave that in your purse. Get you a beer or a soda pop.
Yardbirds, Tenaha Street.
McAdams Propane Company is your East Texas propane provider. Josh McAdams represents the third generation of a family that has kept clean, efficient propane running to the facilities and farms of the area, as well as to the outdoor kitchens that make life fun. They also have the supplies that make an outdoor kitchen possible. Aware of the community, they have provided a luncheon for the first responders of our area. From the beautiful outdoor kitchen to the important fuel that keeps the engines running, keep your engine running with McAdams Propane in Center.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make 'em shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed, since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
Welcome back to the Rick Meeks Show, live from the Rick Meeks Tennis.
No.
It's difficult. It should be at the pizzeria.
Hey, we take
though.
you out of the pizzeria, and you
should be at the pizzeria.
You get him off of the script, coach, that he writes out. He's lost.
It's real hard for me. So welcome in, Larry, and you got to do your second Rough Rider game in a row.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast.
And I watched
we got you coming back.
I watched it on my week off, so I was familiar with it. But you called it, so what were your impressions and your questions for Coach?
Yeah, my impressions were great. You know, I thought we played a really tough game, and you know, a lot of hitting going on. That's what I really liked about it, Coach. That was my favorite part about the whole thing. But you know, your defense had some issues in there that I think that you saw that last week too. So, but that was a good rush squad, and it was a great test for this defense because not taking anything away from where we've been, but some teams that are coming up, we're getting into the meat of this district, and it's a harder part of the season. Everybody's got those bumps and bruises, and it's a great week off. But I know we all keep talking about the defense. The offense looks like it's rocking and rolling, but your defense is still doing good. But there's still some things I think you need to work on that you want to work on.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that we've got to get corrected, you know. But in all fairness, you know, when you look at the way we play the game offensively, it takes a special person to agree to come be the defensive coordinator with that type of offensive philosophy. And the main reason is because you're going to defend 6 to 7 more possessions a game than if we were under center playing eye football.
Right. Yeah.
And so, you know, you have to look at it. You know, you really got to look at it from a different lens. Like for us, gauging our defense, it's more about how many points per possession are we giving up as opposed to what's on the scoreboard. Because you know if you're defending that many more possessions, then yeah, they're going to have more of an opportunity to go score. If we're scoring in one-play drives and we're with the explosive plays that we've had up to this point, you're right back out on the field having to go defend a few things. Now, there are a few things that are giving us problems that we have spent a lot of time on the last 2 days and in the bye week that we're going to continue because people are going to continue to do those things until we show that we have got them corrected.
Let me ask you in here, what's the one thing that give me just a couple of specific things that at the break you want to improve on, but at the same time give us one or two things that you're pleased with, maybe even surprised about.
Well, you know, like that. I mean, that's the other night we scored on defense. We turned them over 4 times. We had a scoop and score, another fumble. We had 2 interceptions. We're running to the ball. I mean, you made the comment about the physicality. Our kids are starting to play better behind their pads. They're starting to do those things a lot better. We're struggling recognizing pulling linemen right now. Linemen are crossing our linebackers' face, and we're not seeing it. And so we're not redirecting into the right gap or plane that we need to keep spilling it sideways. It's getting vertical on us, and that's not any good. We want the ball to continue to go laterally to the sideline to where then our secondary has a chance to rally to come make the play. Where we're struggling is we're getting pulling linemen, and our linebackers are not seeing them cross their face, and we're just plugging gaps that are then pointless because it's not going there now. Whereas when they see that, we can make a call and we can work over the top of it and keep it moving laterally.
Teaching question: how do you fix that? I mean,
it's
besides
reps. I mean,
telling them.
I mean, and it's reps. You know, and Friday night we played with a 9th grader and a 10th grader. Now the 10th grader's got 6 games under his belt, and we're still making some of the same mistakes. And now he's playing great. I mean, he's got 130-something tackles in 6 games. So, you know, it's not from a lack of effort.
Physical ability.
But it's not registering right now. And then another, you know.
And the more games you play, too, it gets to this point to where it kind of slows down for you for a little bit, you know. And and once you slow it down a little bit, you get to see that a little bit more, too. And you'll recognize that it'll click for you a lot faster. And being a younger man, more times he gets out there, that's exactly what it's going to be.
And so
that's better, like the guys will say, you know, it's just reps and being there and watching it on film, watching yourself on film at that point. That's the only way you can fix it, man, really.
And you got to want to fix it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I'm not, and I think we do. I'm just saying, you've also, from a player standpoint, you've got to understand why we're doing certain things in practice, and you've got to have a want to make a correction, and not just be complacent with the results that we've had up to this point. So that one's given us problems. We got exposed a little bit in the screen game Friday night. Part of that is because we have been preaching so much towards being aggressive because we were very passive the first few games, And now we're trying to be more aggressive.
That's what a screen
And
will do, right?
Yeah.
And now our kids are just kind of in this sickle mindset, and we're not redirecting. That's an easier fix than the pulling lineman right now. We can, that's, we've already made huge strides yesterday and today in practice working that.
But both it's the linebackers reading their keys correctly, right?
Shires just said it's the linebackers reading keys on.
They're the ones that need to fall back in there.
Well, linemen should fall back in. The running back screens, the linebacker's responsible for the back based off of the formation. And so what happened the other night is our defensive linemen were at the quarterback and not retracing. Our linebackers see pass, and they were turning and pass dropping, as opposed to we ran a lot of red coverage, which for us is straight man-to-man. Well, we're in red. If I'm a linebacker and Mr. Shires is the back, he's mine. So it doesn't matter what the quarterback's doing. I have him. Right. And when he was stepping up into the line of scrimmage, and that's the other thing we were trying to tell him too, a screen, they're behind the line of scrimmage. I could go tackle the back right now. It's not pass interference. It's behind the line. Right. It's not holding. It's not anything. And so that's all they had to go do, whereas opposed they disregarded the back. They saw a pass. They turned and ran. They dropped it to the back, and now linemen are back up on me blocking me. So it was a combination of all 7 of them in the box, just doing what their job was once they saw a screen.
And it comes to like the linemen also have to have that click in their head, like why am I so free? You got to be able to say, why am I so free? I got to stop. If I'm so free, I should not be free like this. And it's hard to click like that when you're saying, Coach, you're in that go mode, and you're like, why am I so free all of a sudden? And you're like, uh-oh. Yep. That's the hard part. Those things have to register, too, while you're out there.
Let's just say this. For every kind of mistake like that, there's 4 good plays.
Oh, yeah.
And Larry and I get very excited in the press box when a linebacker.
Shires is talking about how excited, for those of you that can't hear him, he's talking about how excited he gets when the defense is coming around. And leads me to my last question is, it may not be defense, but what's something that at this point you're like, dang, we're better at this than I thought we'd be?
Well, I really think it's kind of a combination of all of it. Just all 3 phases. I felt good about where we were going to be offensively. We had so many guys back. I really didn't feel like we were going to be as explosive as we have been. I knew we would have 2 to 3 of the best players on the field, but, I still didn't think we'd be as explosive as we have been. Defensively, for some of the setbacks that we've had, our kids have not changed their mentality. They've not changed their mindset in terms of I'm going to show up every day to try to get better. And the improvements are happening. And, and then special teams, Carlos is hands down just – I mean, he's a dude. I'm very thankful he is in the purple and gold on Friday nights.
There isn't a kicker in 4A that's had the opportunity to kick as many extra points as he has. Mm-hmm. That's fact. He hadn't missed one.
He missed one. He got injured the other night on one of the kickoffs, and so but comes back in. He actually it was his arm, and it was on kickoff, and it really should have been a flag. He got hit dead in the back chasing one of the kickoffs, and then the way he landed hurt his elbow and his shoulder. And I guess the football coach came out in me because Coach Martinez comes up to me and says, "Hey, you got to find another kicker." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Carlos, he's not going to be able to kick the rest of the game." I said, "What happened?" He hurt his arm. I said, "He don't need his arm to kick."
What's wrong with his foot?
I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "What's wrong with his 2 feet?" He's like, "Coach, you can't do it." And I said, No. You better go have a talk with him. And so anyway, they wrapped it up, and they kind of changed his approach a little bit. And I said, we'll take him off kickoff, but he has got to kick extra points. And in the meantime, Edwin came in. Edwin did a phenomenal job.
Tell us who that is. I saw that Whataburger after. He says, "What about that other kicker?"
Yeah. So Edwin Moreno came in and did a phenomenal job. Came in and pulled up all of the kickoff duties. And then we got Carlos back in there toward the end of the game. The field goal he made before half was huge. Mm-hmm. It allowed us to win the middle 8 like we want to. And then he came in and kicked the second half, and then Edwin kept on kicking the kickoff. So, Edwin did a phenomenal job coming in and taking care of that.
What grade is he in?
Edwin's a senior.
Yeah,
so
And some of the things too. Oh, sorry, real quick. Sorry. Some of the things that we had in there too. We had some of the younger guys that got to come up and play. Coach, you talked about last week about those guys are going to come. They're going to be on the field, and they were. And then we even got the chance to get TJ in there. We got to get Edwards in there running the ball. A couple of things too. So those guys got to get that action and get some very good rest defense. They left their guys in there, so that was good to see those guys get that rep time too.
Yes. Yeah, I thought our freshmen really stepped up and played well. They got thrown to the fire quick,
right.
and we knew we were going to have we were battling some injury issues last week. Not sure how some of it would pan out by the end of the week, and so we just moved them up at the start of the week and rock and rolled with it, and they all played well, graded out well, and they'll be a permanent move for us right now. So
awesome.
We got to talk about Van, and so we'll take a break and we'll come back.
I got two things.
Yeah, two things.
Before we talk about Van?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can hear me.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that and yield my headset.
To the couch.
So they can hear you. We may not be able to hear you very good.
Yeah, I think the folks can hear me because I'm so loud.
Right.
Well, Coach, two things. Number one, Pierce and I gave out the Aunt Jemima Syrup Award in the middle of the third quarter. Number 77 just absolutely pancaked the guy, and it just warmed my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody go back and look on it. Number 77. Who was 77 again?
Wesley Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun.
Yeah.
He won the. It's going to be a weekly thing. The Aunt Jemima.
Pancake.
Pancake Award.
I love that.
And the second thing is to talk about. You and I talked about this before the show started. I thought there was a drive kind of in the middle of the third quarter, which I think was one of the first time I've seen us put away a team, because they expended a lot of energy, the Eagles, to try to stop us. We didn't score quick. We ran the football and just matriculated down, and I think it took their energy, and I think they were done after that. Do you remember that drive?
I do, and it was one we talked about a lot on the headsets through the drive, and kind of like we talked about before, there's something about just the demoralizing factor of running the ball slowly down the field, and the defense knows you're going to run it, and they still can't stop you, and then you end in points, and it's just kind of a backbreaker.
I call it a soul crusher.
Or a soul crusher. And the other side of it too is we knew with those points.
Yep.
And where we would be, obviously if we broke one, we broke one. But if we just moved it down the field and we scored, we knew where we would be with the time on the clock, and they were not going to have 3 more possessions to where they could catch us.
Right.
In the fourth quarter. If they were to get 3 possessions, it's because we would have scored 1. And
right.
So the point differential would still be the same.
Right.
And so, whereas we have an attack mindset and a go offensive mentality, we also are going to be smart about it.
Right.
And once we know we have a team out of reach, then we're going to slow things way down and make sure, because at the end of the day, we want to walk off the field with a win and not be so hard-headed and married to a scheme
right.
that we do something, not very smart and let them back in it. So
but, yeah, and what I like psychologically about it is that we've responded to adversity well all year long, but this was an opportunity, like we talked about it against North DeSoto. I think there was a period of time in the third quarter where the same kind of thing happened. We were unable to score, and they got back in it.
Yes, sir.
This game we did not allow it to happen, and Rusk is a quality football team, and so we finished them off, and that's championship stuff right there.
Absolutely. I mean, they were 4-1 for a reason.
Yep.
I mean, they're very well coached. They play extremely hard. Coach Sitton does a phenomenal job with them, and along with his staff. And so, that was a big win for our program and for our kids. It's one the last 2 years that has slipped away from us, and it's one we've put a lot of emphasis on since we started on July 31st, and our kids knew the importance that this game was going to have. And they responded well and played very well.
Thank you, Coach. All right, Wallington is ready to move us on, so we're going to hear from the Pizzeria and the State Farm. We'll come back and talk about some Van Vandals here next on the Rick Meeks Show.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Charles in charge.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment, the Van Vandals, and it's not this week.
It is not this week.
You will be in Rusk watching the Van Vandals.
I will.
We were hoping actually we may be broadcasting the Rusk game as they are a new family, a new member of the NetSN family. We may actually go do that game of all things. But okay, we'll get Rusk. You'll get to see Rusk and Van.
Yep.
But what do you know about Van?
I know they have a lot of kids back off of last year's team. By the time we played them, they had a good many injuries, had moved up quite a few sophomores and played the remaining 3 games with those kids. So those kids have got some very quality snaps, end up making into the playoffs, so got a playoff game out of it. And so a lot of the same kids are back. They are very, very big in the offensive and defensive linemen, run the ball really well. And, and they did last year. We were able to use we were undersized versus them last year. We were able to use, some quickness in the box with our defensive linemen to kind of keep them off track, and we're going to have to be able to do that again. But they run the ball really well. The quarterback is just a junior. It's Coach Moffitt's son. He started for them last year as a 10th grader all season, and really good receiver that did not play against us last year. He's probably about 6'4", 6'5". He will be on our left. Our defensive right, the offensive left. So he'll be on our defensive right 90% of the time. So he'll create some matchup issues for us. We're going to have to be creative in how we defend that. But they're going to be very sound, very very well coached, and very disciplined. And we're going to have to kind of expose some matchups and create that edge that we have the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Win in the trenches.
And
win it in the trenches. We'll take it there.
Bullard and Van and Carthage and us pretty good. Rusk was too. Mm-hmm. Is too. Mm-hmm. One down on that. Yep. And I'm not discounting Canton and Bullard and Brownsboro for where they are in the rankings and all. Everybody's winning.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, our whole district won their pre-district. So, but anyway, Bullard, Carthage, us, and Van. Take Rusk off of that. 3 of the 4 remaining ones are the big 3. Mm-hmm. I know as coaches and players, you can't really think like that. You just have to be next man up. But
correct.
It really is kind of the heart of the schedule, isn't it?
It is. And really it was kind of 4 in a row. Like I said, we were able to get the win Friday and move past Russ, and now so it's the next 3. Mm-hmm. But Rusk, Van, Carthage, Bullard, and us. What's that? 5 of us. Mm-hmm. 5 of us in our district are all within the top 15 in the state. And so,
you got to be ready on every play, every game, every night. You gotta
one of those excellent teams not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's
so it's crazy. Something to smile about from Wyndham Family Dental today is not even about football. If you're tuned us late.
Coach just won a district championship. Not Coach Meeks. No, sorry.
Coach, earlier in the program, Coach Dykes.
He got one, though. We were talking about he got one.
Team 10 is district champs. That's definitely something to smile about for Coach Dykes and our team tennis and our athletic department.
Yep, good stuff. When we had them here first on this program. Well, thank you for joining us. On behalf of –
they're kicking us out of here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to go.
We're the only ones here. Coach Dykes has told me what to put up, and I'm locking up after him.
Thanks, Pizzeria. We appreciate you, man. I love the pizza as always.
Pizza's always awesome. Good, and always Steve Waters and the folks at Sabine State Bank for making this happen. We'll talk to you again. Go Rough Rider tennis, go Rough Rider football, and all the athletics. We'll talk to you again until next time.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a
Evans' three-point shot.
Mitchell hits a powering shot, baby.
Red Horse takes it to the house. This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider broadcast team, brought to you by Watlington and Shires Productions.